Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and this is going to be my response to the 90s slasher tag. Of course, I was tagged by Sean Erschen from the Horror Quarter. And, yeah, this one was a tough one for me. I love my 80s slashers, there's no doubt about that, and it's a lot easier decade for me to do a tag video on. The 90s is a tough one for me. There are definitely some good slashers in the 90s, but in my opinion, they were few and far between. So let's get right into it. Question number 1 is best gore effects in a 90s slasher. To me, that's going to go to Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut. Now, you're going to hear that a few times in this tag video, but I just think that movie is so mean-spirited, and I love a lot of the kills in that film. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I know that's on the bottom of a lot of people's Halloween list, but it's always been a favorite of mine, and I do still believe that that was the last time that Michael was scary. So, question number 2. Favorite 90s slasher with a major star. Now, a lot of people probably won't consider this a slasher film, but I do, and that is Cape Fear, the remake. And, of course, that has Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte, and also Jessica Lange. I definitely consider that a slasher film, and it is one of my favorites. Question number 3. Favorite weapon used by a killer in a 90s slasher. To me, that is going to be, of course, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers again, and it's going to be where Michael throws Jamie onto the piece of farm equipment and turns it on. I thought that was brilliant, and even though Danielle Harris wasn't in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, which really bummed me out, I thought that was a pretty fitting way to dispose of her in that one. Question number 4. Favorite 90s slasher sequel. That's going to go to Child's Play 3. I've always loved the Child's Play franchise. I know that we've been talking a lot about that lately, of course, because of the trailer for the new Child's Play reboot, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. But I've always loved Child's Play 3. That's another one I find incredibly mean-spirited. And it's my second favorite Child's Play film. It's right around there with Curse of Chucky. Question number 5 was the toughest one for me. It is the sleaziest 90s slasher film. Now, there's been a lot of sleazy slasher films, most of which I equate with the 80s, like Maniac and American Nightmare, Psycho 3, but this one's a tough one because I don't even know if I consider it a slasher movie, although I probably should because it kind of fits within that series. It's going to be Psycho 4: The Beginning. I've always thought that that was sleazy. The relationship with Henry Thomas and Olivia Hussey, mother and son, it just, yeah. So that is my answer for it. Still not sure if I consider it a slasher film, but it's a slasher franchise. So, question number 6. Favorite death scene in a 90s slasher. Now that is going to be, there's going to be 2. And they both come from Leprechaun 3, which I think had some of the best death scenes in it. The first one's going to be Robot Shock, and anybody who's seen Leprechaun 3 knows which one that is, so I'm not going to get into it. And the second one's going to be the one with the plastic surgery, and I just think that that was incredibly ridiculous, but such a fun kill. Question number 7 is going to be favorite guilty pleasure 90s slasher. That's going to go to Jack Frost. I love Jack Frost. I know it's silly. but I believe it was supposed to be silly to a certain degree. So that's my answer for that one. Question number 8. Favorite 90s slasher soundtrack? That's going to go to Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I thought that had an incredible soundtrack. Some of the bands that are on it are Hurricane, Death Angel, Sacred Reich, Wraith. Yeah. Question number 9. Favorite holiday-themed 90s slasher? Is, of course, going to go to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And that's the last time you're going to hear about it. Question number 10. The scariest 90s slasher. When I originally saw it when I was younger, it wasn't one of my favorites, but I always thought it was scary. If that makes sense. It probably doesn't. But it's going to go to Candyman. The reason why I wasn't a huge fan of Candyman when I first saw it is because I didn't like the setting. Now that's the reason why it's one of my favorites. Tastes change over the years, but what has never changed about Candyman is I think it is an incredible film. It has some of the best lore, and it is frightening. They definitely did a great job with that. And now we have a bonus question, which is going to be, pitch a 90s slasher. This is going to be simple for me, and I don't know if I saw Brad do it, but I'm taking it if Brad didn't do it, and that's, I want a sequel to Dr. Giggles. Of course, we're never going to get it because Larry Drake is no longer with us, but I think that they had a ample amount of time to make a sequel to Dr. Giggles. That was always one of my favorites. Yeah. I love Dr. Giggles. I think it's awesome. And I would love to have seen a sequel for that. I know Brad and I have talked about that several times. It's one of his favorites as well. But, yeah. And by Brad, I mean Bronco Juggalo, for those of you who don't know. But, yeah. But that's going to do it. I'm going to leave this tag open because I'm kind of late to the game on this one. But, yeah, if you're a fan of 90s slashers, definitely do this. I basically tag anyone who wants to do it. So, but if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.